Hello, Super Atomaniacs. We had a request for the Wild Wild West Season 2, Episode 17, Night of the Feathered Fury. They specified that it's the second appearance of Count Manzeppi. But when I watched it, I realized there was too much that I didn't know about this guy. So I pulled up his first appearance and realized I have to do this one. They're both so good, and Victor Buono is so outstanding, I just have to cover both of them. I hope nobody minds. Okay, that's butt ugly. No, I wasn't talking about the guy in the funny hat. One of the many things that made this show so great was the attention to detail. His clothes and hat are period authentic, just like everybody else's. What he's doing in this crazy place is anybody's guess. It looks like a storeroom for circus props.
Julio, are you there? Look who's paying us a visit.
Circus props like Victor Buono. It's easy to see he's as comfortable in this role as he was as King Tut. There's no mistaking that laugh either. I think he perfected it just for these types of characters. Our other circus prop is Viller and his dummy Julio.
Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman.
What's the matter with your nose, boy? That's no Englishman.
Richard Pryor had been doing stand-up in small clubs in New York and Las Vegas and wasn't getting very far because his act was so in-your-face controversial. He headed to L.A., and we are watching him in his very first screen role. The following year, he got a small part in a movie, and he was off and running. He had a steady career and was still doing stand-up, but he was also doing lots of drugs. In 1980, he somehow managed to set himself on fire, reports differ on how he did it, and he spent a lot of time in the hospital. His health never really recovered, and he had several heart attacks. The big one came in 2005. But for now, he's just getting rolling. I find myself wondering why the guy in the cape talks to the dummy, not to the guy.
Villar is right, Julio. Look at this gentleman. His manly bearing, resolute jaw, fearless flashing eyes.
Oh, now I know, Count. He must be a Secret Service man.
Splendid, Julio.
You get the feeling our host doesn't like Secret Service agents.
Blimey, fancy that? Why, he must be the notorious James West.
Oh, no, Tony, we're not that honored.
Oh, dear. Now look what I've gone and done.
Really, you should be more careful with that thing.
Really, Miranda. What a shocking way to treat a government agent who's been snooping around where he hasn't any right to be.
See, even your boss agrees. Let him pick up his gun.
West sidekick, Artemis Gordon.
Or you can hand him one of those. That works too.
No, Deadeye, this gentleman is neither of those two worthies. Although the plan was for you to meet Messrs. West and Gordon here and pass on the information you'd nosed out about us.
I foresee trouble.
So does Mr. Markham.
Golly, golly, golly. What's Mr. Markham going to do now?
Well, what can he do, Julio? Nothing. except die.
I think we all saw that coming, including Mr. Markham. We'll learn that the big guy's name is Titan. Perfect.
Markham said he'd leave the door open for us.
Well, let's not stand on ceremony.
Another great thing about the series is how the gadgets are also period specific. Some bad guy builds a huge fancy machine that does a thing. It's steam powered because that's what they had at the time. You can look as hard as you want, but you won't find any major anachronisms in this show that I can recall. Speaking of finding things,
Jim! Jim!
I have many questions. The most prominent, how did Arty blunder into that? He would have to walk his head right into the loop, and it seems to me when he felt it brush his skin, he wouldn't keep going. But it gave Jim West a chance to show off his shooting skills. There's a chance that might be important.
I think I sprained my ankle when I landed. Jim, look.
West, Artemis, come here very quietly.
Notice that he's not moving, gentlemen. Ask yourselves why. Yeah, that knife would be why.
Is he, How can that be? I distinctly heard him speak.
Would you care to place a small wager on that, Mr. Gordon?
Arty is having a bad day. He gets himself strung up, he sprains his ankle, he can't figure out that it was somebody else talking. He needs to go back to the rail car and lie down. The paper the knife is holding is in Spanish.
It's all right, nurse. That'll be all.
Thank you.
Olvidé su penas en el parque con felicidades y alegría.
Whatever the devil that means.
Roughly translated, sir, it means for a happy and joyous time. Visit the Echo Amusement Park.
I'm not sure a body with a knife in his back is the best way to advertise your park.
Let me remind you two of a few very pertinent facts. Item number 1. Vance Markham has been brutally murdered. By whom?
In all probability, by the Eccentrics, an organization of murderous thugs who specialize in assassination for hire.
Oh, very good, Mr. Gordon.
Thank you, sir.
What else do we know about the Eccentrics?
Well, no one has ever seen them, sir, but from the bits and pieces we've been able to gather, I don't think there's any doubt that they intend to assassinate the president of Mexico, Juarez.
Good. Remind me to give the two of you a gold star to paste in your copybooks.
Yes, sir.
I think he's saying their job isn't to know it, their job is to keep it from happening.
Gentlemen, if our president is sleeping soundly at the moment, it is because he has somehow got the idea that we can prevent anything from happening to Juarez.
Yeah, that's the same thing I said, he just took longer. I thought maybe I had caught the show in something, but no, The Daring Young Man on the Flying Trapeze was produced around 1866 or 67, so right about the time when this is happening. Next question, where's the calliope that's playing it? But we may have a slight time problem here. Edison invented the drum-based phonograph in 1877, which seems to be after all this. On the other hand, we're never told exactly what year it is, so I can let it pass. By the way, somebody tell the ringmaster to take better care of his recordings.
Hurry, 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 ladies and gentlemen, come and explore our fascinating world. A universe of laughter, fun, and frivolity. And all for just 5 centavos.
Maybe he figures if he gathers enough nickels, he can buy new recordings.
Deadeye, justly renowned as the fastest gun on Earth. Tony, undisputed master of the art of knife throwing. And this lovely shell-like ear is none other than the imperial ear of the Princess Yasmin Ayasutupet, queen by ancestral right of Araby, rescued not 6 months ago from the slave markets at Mecca and brought here at great cost.
We already saw that her real name is Miranda, but that's not important right now.
Will your ravishing majesty deign to enter the cabinet of no return? Nullae secundus, tullae morundus, solae profundus, through the intercession of the Black Council of Baal, Belial, Balaam, and of the sulphurous name that may not even be whispered.
Our caped captain is a magician, I guess. He's not a very good one, since we can see Miranda slip out the back of the box and behind the curtain, but give him points for effort. The next attraction will require a volunteer from this vast audience.
Titan is ready to match his formidable muscles against all comers, and the prize for whoever can defeat him, nothing less than the crown of the Emperor Herodotus of Rome, 2,000 years old, and worth a king's ransom.
Since there never was a Roman emperor named Herodotus, that's a good trick. Out of all the people watching, he somehow chooses James West to challenge Titan.
The gentleman outweighs me by several ounces.
Goliath outweighed David, too, if you'll recall. And David took a chance. Won't you reconsider?
Since you put it that way.
Get beaten to death by that guy, or get shot and stabbed to death by these guys?
Did you ever have to make up your mind?
Keep the change.
Very nice.
Must you leave? It was just getting interesting.
No, that's Titan's way of saying you win. He'll come out after you leave. You're not. This is the most unfriendly circus I ever went to. I don't recommend bringing your children.
Somebody wins, somebody loses. The rondelay of life, sir.
Speaking of winning, you mentioned something about a crown.
Ah, yes. To the victor belongs the spoils.
Fabulous crown of Emperor Herodotus. Didn't know that crowns were made of lead.
Lead? What kind of base chicanery is this? I assure you, sir, we'll make it up to you.
Don't bother. I'm very fond of lead.
No, you're being far too kind. I assure you. I want you to get everything that's coming to you.
Don't worry, he didn't really disappear into some other dimension or anything like that. Almost 100 years later, Jimi Hendrix was watching this episode and got an idea for a song. No, Jim didn't disappear. He was standing on one of those ever-popular trap doors.
Lights that our distinguished guest may see better.
He's a master of what they used to call parlor tricks. It's all intended to draw attention to him and make you think he's something special.
Allow me to present myself. I am the Count Carlos Maria Vincenzo Robespierre Manzeppi, adventurer, poet, and lover of all that is corrupt, forbidden, and blasphemous.
Charmed, I'm sure. But you forgot to add murderer and chief of the Eccentrics.
You hear? Our fame is spreading.
That sometimes happens when you have enough names for 3 people. Meet the other Eccentrics.
Tony Pie, foremost exponent of the knife and its accurate delivery.
How do you do?
He knows they won't hurt him. The Count obviously has plans for him, so he's not intimidated.
The incomparable Deadeye, Grand Master of the 6-chambered revolving death.
And a good day to you too, sir.
Velar, our ventriloquial wonder, and his friend and protege, Julio.
Any questions, Mr. West?
Just one question. Who's the ventriloquist and who's the dummy?
Fair question. Speaking of fair, he introduces the fair damsel.
Lovely, isn't she?
Like a fer-de-lance.
And she looks so happy to be here.
And the mighty Titan. I miss him.
We all do. He failed in his little encounter with you, and so...
Scratch one, eccentric.
Titan's dead. Long live his replacement.
He waves his hand and the name on Titan's chair changes to James West. That's a mistake, Count. Most of the time he goes by Jim.
I'm flattered. Are you asking me to join your group?
Why not? You have much to offer us. Oh, a certain flair for assassination. A charming capacity to overcome odds.
You don't feel the need to show off all the time?
In short, style. We can use you.
He says you can join us or you can die. Your choice.
A man would be a fool to decline that invitation.
Splendid. However, there is one test of your good faith needed.
Yes.
To show us that you are really dedicated to our cause, you'll be required to kill your friend Artemis Gordon.
If you didn't see that coming, this may be your first time seeing the show. And if that's the case, you can be forgiven for saying, huh? Since we're 20 minutes into the episode and we still haven't seen Artemis Gordon.
A magic lantern show. My favorite indoor sport.
Question. Who are these people?
Emperor Maximilian and his wife Carlotta.
Alive and well, I trust.
No, not exactly. Maximilian was shot dead 4 years ago by Juarez revolutionaries.
Oh, that's too bad. They look like such a nice couple. And what have we here?
That is Maximilian's cousin, the Archduke Charles Louis of Austria.
The Mexican people deposed and executed Maximilian, in large part because he wasn't Mexican, he was European. Juarez and others insisted on executing him to send a message to people like Cousin Mustache here that they are done with European interference, go home and leave us alone. Count Manzeppi doesn't think that's a good idea, mostly because Charles Louis of Austria is paying him $1 million to think that way.
Tonight he lands at Veracruz. In 2 days' time, he'll be at Mexico City to accept his cousin's crown, and then, well, I'm sure your colleague has filled you in on all of this.
Before you murdered him.
Meanwhile, President Benito Juarez will have a serious accident.
Murdered, don't you mean?
No, I don't mean murdered. I don't like the word. News of the president's terminal accident will spread throughout Mexico. Hail, Emperor Charles Louis! Hail and farewell, Benito Juarez.
And now it's time to hail and farewell Mr. West. Tony the knife thrower will handle this. I knew his offer to join him wasn't sincere.
Too far to the right, Tony. Try it again. Left. Try it again.
I'll never miss a third trick, Governor.
The Count discovered long ago that trapdoors are cheaper if you buy them in bundles of 100. Unless you have him completely naked, Jim West is never without resources. And even if you do have him naked, he probably has a micro derringer behind his ear.
Mr. West, this way. Follow me.
Blow in his ear, he'll follow you anywhere.
We could see that she wasn't comfortable with what the others were doing, so it's not surprising that she'd help him escape if she can. It's on Channel 9. No, I said Channel 9. Can you count to 9? Told you. How did he do that? He's a magician. He'll never tell. 25.5 minutes in, or half the episode, and we finally get to see Artemis Gordon. He was always a way more interesting character.
Ah, you brought me the Queen of Araby.
Oh, my real name's Miranda when you get up off the floor.
Please make yourself at home, do.
Thank you.
Anything I can do for you?
Arty, listen, this is important. Markham was right. They plan to assassinate Juarez tonight so that Archduke Charles Louis can take over the throne of Mexico. You better notify Washington right away.
Who is this, the Eccentrics?
Who else?
Except their telegraph line isn't working. Not a good sign.
It's moving faster than I expected.
What were you expecting, Mr. West?
Very smart quarters, Mr. West. Very smart indeed. Ah, Miranda, my blossom. Your performance was superb.
She insists she didn't enjoy it. James Bond insisted he didn't enjoy sex with Fiona. I didn't believe that one either.
What's on the agenda now?
First of all, I shall require your trade.
Certainly. For any particular reason?
I told you Juarez will be returning to Mexico City. You'll accompany his body on this train.
I suppose that means we're going to be dead, too.
No, of course not. I gave you that idea. You'll be very much alive. In fact, it will be my privilege to present you to the Emperor Charles Louis as the assassin of President Juarez.
Okay, that's clever. They'll have no way to prove their innocence, and unfortunately, the principle of reasonable doubt is only a thing in certain countries, not so much in others.
Why was I chosen for this job?
My dear Mr. West, you're an accredited United States agent. Since you will seemingly have assassinated the tyrant Juarez, it will appear to the world that the United States is giving its blessing to the rebirth of the Mexican Empire.
And for that, we get $1 million.
Small potatoes. Has it ever occurred to you, or for that matter, any of you, that my government would gladly pay $2 million to save Juarez and his democracy?
The Count isn't buying it, but Miranda might be.
Very shrewd maneuver, Mr. West, but it won't work. I don't think.
At least Arty got away, so he can go limp to somewhere and get help.
Mr. West, you have succeeded in making me lose my temper.
Is that bad?
For you, it will be highly traumatic. We have little better than an hour before we must embark on the Juarez mission. Not too much time, but enough to teach you a most salutary, highly corrective lesson about meddling in the plans of the Eccentrics.
Now can Miranda do a turn with the whip? She does it so well.
Count, I still have a few fine points I could show Mr. West.
Be quiet, all of you, and put that silly thing away. As the old saying goes, this one's on me.
The Count probably outweighs Jim by as much as Titan did. The Count's is distributed somewhat differently, so how does he intend to cheat?
No, a little further back. Yes, now, to your right. That's excellent, thank you.
One of my many admirers, I presume.
And I assure you, shall not loose her hold on you this side of the 17 gates of hell.
Before we begin to wonder, he plucked the number 17 out of nowhere. And as the little flash paper stunt shows, he really is a charlatan.
Now you are in the cradle of limbo, suspended halfway betwixt Elysium and Hades.
I always did want to get away from it all.
The Count points out that the rope is in the process of breaking, so he'll be coming down soon. Let me get this straight. We wrap him up in a pair of giant hands, positioned so that all he has to do is perform a deep knee bend and he can probably get loose. Then we raise him about 8 feet off the floor, or roughly the height of the average rain gutter on a house, and then we drop him back down. I think Jim has the right idea.
For shame, Count. You should have used a better quality rope.
No. You don't seem to be grasping the finer points of this, Mr. West.
And you don't seem to grasp what he's doing. If he can goad you into getting angry again, who knows what can happen. Julio explains that the rope has been treated with a caustic substance that will make it break very soon. Again, an 8-foot drop. So?
Observe, Mr. West. Van de Graaff's experiments in static electricity showed me the way. Oh, there are thousands and thousands of volts barely held in check. Now, what will happen when you fall into the middle of it?
The shocking moment of truth, I suppose.
Beautifully stated, Mr. West. Oh, I wish I could stay and watch. But unfortunately, the smell of scorched people disagrees with me.
And besides, it's against the rules for the villain to hang around and watch the hero escape. He could incur a hefty fine if he did.
Mr. West.
Miranda. Come to watch the thrilling descent?
Listen, you said your government would give $2 million to have Juarez alive, remember?
Bless your greedy little heart.
We'll go halvers. 50-50 split, just you and me, okay?
I hate to change the subject, but I don't think I'm going to be hanging around very long.
Promise.
All right, 50% of everything I collect. Now grab that pole and smash those lights.
He said that carefully. 50% of whatever he collects, and why would the government give the money to him? Stopping things like the Juarez assassination is his job. I have a feeling she's going to find out what half of nothing is. The field is too strong, so West tells Miranda to break the 2 wires by the rope above him with her whip. The trick is to hit the wires without also cutting the rope. The wires are what was holding the hands in place. Once she broke the circuit, they let go. Jim West later had them arrested for molesting him. Once outside, they hop on Jim's horse and head for an estate the Count mentioned. Miranda says it's Juarez's secret HQ. It took some digging to find information about Legrand Mellon, who played Miranda. She chose the name Legrand because it was her adoptive mother's family name. She married William Larimer Mellon III, heir to a nice fortune. His family were active philanthropists in Haiti, and Legrand got heavily involved in the work. This began a lifelong love for the country and its people. When she returned to the States, she decided to try her hand at acting. This right here is her one credit as an actor. She made one appearance on the Kraft Summer Music Hall in 1966 as a singer, where she co-headlined with Richard Pryor. You can't make these things up. She released some records, but her heart was still in Haiti. Even after she married a second time to a comedy writer, she kept up her work there, especially her service to the Albert Schweitzer Hospital that Billy's parents had built there. After she died, proceeds from her estate went to the foundation that ran the hospital. She may never have been a household name, but I suspect her name is written in a very prominent place in heaven.
Alto, señor. Es prohibido pasar por aquí.
Guard, this is, estas muy importante, el presidente Juarez.
Lo siento, es prohibido pasear por aquí, señor.
Hang on, I'm gonna have to dump this guy.
Lo siento, señor. Es prohibido.
See. Anything you say. Adios, muchachos.
Notice our guard never acknowledged that Senor Presidente is inside. He just kept saying entry prohibited. So let's go about 20 feet away and sneak over the wall. They'll never suspect that.
Alto!
Of course, I could be mistaken.
To the right, please. As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by the Eccentrics.
Arty, you son of a gun.
Then again, maybe Arty is the only one here who did suspect it. It's nice to see his ankle is better. Still in character, he leads them into President Juarez's office.
I'm in the Secret Service of the United States. And I must tell you that an attempt is going to be made on your life.
My life? Surely there must be a mistake. Who would want to kill me?
There's an organization that sells death across the counter like bolts of calico. They call themselves the Eccentrics, and their leader is...
Count Carlos Maria Vincenzo Robespierre Manzeppi, your servant.
Surprise! Mr. President is dead-eye with some latex prosthetics. A more important question, when they came in, why did Arty and Miranda just stand there silent? Are they mad at Jim for something? Or is the idea to let the Count eliminate Jim so they can run off together? We'll discover that Chopin Nocturne is the only tune he knows on the violin. I'm not sure what the point of playing it right now is, but at least he plays it in tune.
It was painfully obvious to me that the divine Miranda had forsaken me and was now dreaming girlish dreams only of the $2 million with which you had so cleverly baited your hook.
I see. Then I was supposed to break loose from the amorous Amanda.
My dear Mr. West, I would have been desolate if you hadn't.
It would have been sporting of you to tell him how before you left the room.
Mr. West, greedy Miranda, Mr. Gordon, I have permitted you to expend much time, trouble, and ingenuity to arrive at your place of execution. However, your execution will be held in abeyance until after Mr. Juarez has been gathered to his forefathers. I appreciate a little audience for my curtain closes. I beg your pardon. I'm going to take a little nap until it's curtain time.
He's left his 3 hench weirdos to guard them.
Is it all done with mirrors, or are you really good at throwing those knives?
Governor, if I do say so myself, I shouldn't. I'm the living tub-thumping, cork-crowing.
Oh, you don't say. Well, maybe you'd put on a little demonstration for us.
Sure.
Turn it off, West.
How about that? With all Tony's talent, our wild and woolly cowboy friend, we'll let him put on a little show.
Arty says, consider it a last request. We're entitled to that.
Come on, Tony. Let's see how close you can come without nicking me. Don't stop now. I'm just beginning to enjoy it.
That's a lot, Governor.
Right now.
Yeah, Tony forgot that sharp knives cut rope. He also forgot that when a knife thrower runs out of knives, he's not all that useful. The Count wants to know what all the noise is about.
Mr. West suckered Tony into throwing his knives.
Ah, yes. And the astute Mr. West proceeded to cut his bonds with them in an attempt to win his freedom. Correct, Mr. West?
It seemed to be a pretty good idea at the time.
You're not without a certain native resourcefulness, which I do admire. Oh, dear. Now more than ever, we can use you in our sadly depleted organization.
What depleted? You're only down one strong man.
Governor, listen to me. I didn't mean, you know.
Fall down, Tony. You're dead.
I stand corrected. What does it take to turn a regular person into someone like Deadeye? We probably don't want to know. I'm sure he could tell us, but he'd have to...
Do you think Deadeye is just a man who handles a gun with amazing accuracy and speed? He's much more than that, you know. He's a machine. Lubricating oil in his veins instead of blood. Electrical circuits instead of nerves. Steel cable instead of muscle.
My. All that for shooting down defenseless men. What a waste.
The Count is trying to warn Deadeye about what West is doing, but Deadeye isn't listening. This guy is casting aspersions on his honor. I'm not sure how. All he's doing is pointing out that both Titan and Tony were unarmed and defenseless when he shot them.
You know what I'm wondering? I'm wondering what you'd be like with someone who had a gun. Someone who knew how to use it.
Don't be a fool.
It's a little late for that. He signed up with you, didn't he?
It's just what he wants you to do.
If I may make a small suggestion. You're a count. Why don't you count?
Very good. Why not?
I see a problem for Jim because he stuck that pistol so far in his vest there's no way he can reach the trigger quickly. There's also a possibility that the hammer could catch on the fabric. There's a reason Deadeye only put his into his belt up to the reel. But Jim has an advantage.
Ready, gentlemen?
You ready, Deadeye? Remember, I've got a gun, too.
1.
Have you ever been shot, Deadeye? Had that unforgettable experience as that hot lead pumps into your body?
Jim has the advantage of keeping his cool. Deadeye is about to crack.
2.
There's still time to pull out, Deadeye. Better a live coward.
Fall down, West. You're...
Yes, go on. He's what? Finish the sentence, dude.
Mr. West, you have a fine, shiny gun, and you certainly know how to use it. I, in turn, have a fine, shiny bomb, and I assure you I know how to use it.
I think you're trying to make a point.
Only this. If you should be ill-advised enough to shoot me, this bomb is primed to go off, disposing of you, Miranda, and Mr. Gordon. Yes, and quite possibly disposing of Mr. Juarez, who, if I am to judge by the enthusiastic sound of the faithful, is drawing nigh.
And never let it be said that Count Bloody-Bloody-Blah Manzeppi doesn't have an escape route prepared.
Act 1 to you, Mr. West. But when the mists rise and the sudden silences fall, look for me.
As if the show could have ever gotten away with not bringing him back. We rarely see a one and done with a Victor Buono character, witness Batman's King Tut. And since the actual request that started this is his next appearance, there's that. Okay, Mr. President, I know it's a total cliche, but I can explain this.
Es totalmente sólida la pared.
What? What the devil did he say?
That's a little embarrassing, sir.
Oh, come on, West, out with it.
He said the wall is solid. There's no sliding panel.
Oh, I see. And you still maintain that the wall slid back, like the Red Sea,
yes, sir,
and conveniently allowed Manzeppi to escape.
Yes, sir. There's no doubt about it.
Secret panels in walls. Has it ever occurred to you that the whole thing was an illusion?
There were definitely illusions involved, such as the two dead guys on the floor. But they all saw the wall open, including Miranda, wherever she is.
I saw it too, sir. I can assure you it was no illusion.
Or perhaps you've been working a little too hard. Ever consider that? Confound it, you agents aren't made of bronze. You could be suffering from an optical illusion. Innumerable times, I've suggested that our agents be compelled to use their full amount of leave time, each and every year. Every man is human. You can't just go from assignment to assignment without rest and not have it catch up with you in the end.
Keep talking. It's some great white noise for my nap. Thank you, thank you, thank you to the patron who requested these episodes. I had pretty well forgotten what an outstanding show this is. And considering I was 13 when it aired, it probably goes without saying that I can enjoy it even more thoroughly now. With about 60 years of knowledge and experience to draw on, I can appreciate things like the historical accuracy. Example, the Count playing Chopin. That piece was published in the early 1830s, so it had plenty of time to cross the Atlantic. Everything, with the possible exception of the phonograph, is precise to the time period. It was a time when being a Count still meant you were somebody important. You can tell his title still has clout by how many names he has. Count Carlos Mario Vincenzo Robespierre Manzini. He lived to see Italy change to a democracy, and his title became so much fluff. That being the case, he changed his name to Charlie Vincent and opened a magic shop in San Francisco. His descendants still run it to this day.